Dad wants to add you to our insurance. This one caught me off guard. We were just sitting at the dining table, going over some papers, basic stuff, bills, documents, the usual boring grown-up things. And then, out of nowhere, my dad says something like, "Hey, by the way, I was thinking of adding her to the insurance." At first, I didn't even react. I was like, "Wait, what?" And he repeated it like it was the most normal thing in the world. "Yeah, it just makes sense now. She's part of this family. We protect our people." That moment, it hit deeper than I expected. Because insurance might sound like just paperwork. But in our home, it's not in our home. Insurance means you matter. It means you belong. It means you belong. It means you're covered. Not just financially, but emotionally, relationally. Fully, my dad has never been the overly affectionate or expressive type. He doesn't say, "I love you" every other sentence. But what he does do is protect the people he values. And him saying he wants to add you, that means he sees you as one of us now. He sees you as someone we plan around, not temporary, not just visiting, but permanent. And I know what you're probably thinking. It's just insurance, right? But it's not. It's trust. It's commitment. It's responsibility. It's his way of saying you matter enough to be protected like one of our own. You're not on the outside anymore. You're inside the circle, because this family doesn't hand things out carelessly. We don't just include people because it sounds nice. We include people because they've proven they're real, they're loyal, they're solid. And you've shown that in ways most people wouldn't even notice. You've respected our space. You've listened to stories that weren't even fun to hear. You've shown up when it wasn't convenient. And you've handled every moment with grace, without needing anything loud in return. So now, this is just the result of all that quiet effort. My dad sees it. He sees you. And in his own way, he's saying, "She's ours now." So the next day, I was walking past the living room and noticed him on a call. He had the speakerphone on low and was quietly talking to someone about coverage, policies, names. I didn't say anything, just paused for a second to listen. And sure enough, I heard your name. He was actually doing it, filling out the forms, asking questions, like what's the process for adding someone new? Does it need her ID? Or can she submit it later? That's when it hit me again. This wasn't just some random thought he threw into the air. This was real. He was actually planning around you. And what moved me most wasn't the fact that it was about insurance. It was the way he said your name. Slow, careful. Like he didn't want to mispronounce it. Like it mattered how he spoke about you, even to a stranger on the phone. See, my dad doesn't do random favors. If he does something for you, that means he already trusts you, already respects you, already sees value in who you are. And when he started going through that process to get you listed, it told me everything I needed to know. He's thinking long term now. He's thinking you're part of this unit. You might not know this, but growing up, it was always a very small circle. My dad didn't trust people easily. He never added outsiders to anything. Even distant family didn't always get included in certain decisions. But now, you're in that circle. No question. Because you earned it. With quiet loyalty. With consistent kindness. With the way you never asked to be seen, but still stood out anyway. And here's what most people don't get. Insurance is protection. Yes, but it's also a plan for the future. When someone says, "I want to include you in this," what they're really saying is, "I'm planning my future around your presence." That means something. That means he's not just thinking about today. He's thinking about what happens if something goes wrong and who he wants protected, if it ever does. And he's choosing you. You didn't force it. You didn't even ask. You just loved quietly, and now you're being covered boldly. This is bigger than paperwork. This is his way of saying you're safe here, you're not temporary, you're family now. And me, watching all of this happen, I'm just sitting back, quietly proud. Because deep down I always knew you were the kind of person who could change hearts just by being real. So later that night, after everything settled down, I walked into the living room where he was half watching TV, remote in one hand, glasses sliding down his nose like always. I didn't even mean to bring it up, but it slipped out. I asked, "You're really going through with adding her?" He didn't look surprised, didn't act confused, just nodded slowly and said, "I'm not doing it out of kindness. I'm doing it because it's right." That one line hit me so hard, I didn't even respond right away. Because sometimes people do things for others out of sympathy or guilt or just to look good. But not him, not my dad. He doesn't move based on emotion. He moves based on respect. And when he said it was right, he wasn't talking about a feeling. He was talking about what you've proven over time with consistency. He sat back, looked at me, and said something that stayed in my chest the rest of the night. People come around when things are shiny, but she was here when it was quiet. That matters to me. See, what you probably didn't know is he watches more than he speaks. You think he's just scrolling through his phone while you're in the room. You think he's just focused on his tea or the news or the noise outside. But no, he's listening, he's observing. He's noticing how you treat people when no one's watching. He told me how he saw you clean your own plate, how you asked if he needed help before you even sat down, how you spoke gently to my little cousins, even when they were being loud and all over the place. He said, "You can't fake that. That kind of care comes from the heart." So yeah, to some, it's just insurance, just paperwork, just another name on a file. But to him, it's trust, it's honor. It's saying, "This one right here, she's covered like one of my own." And let me tell you something real. In a house like ours, that kind of acceptance doesn't come easy. It's earned, slowly, quietly. But once it's given, it's solid. So the next time you wonder if you're really part of this, if you really belong, just remember this. He's not just protecting you on paper. He's protecting your place in this family. The next morning, things felt different. Not louder, not more dramatic. Just, that kind of quiet, where everything feels safe. That's what it was. Dad was in the backyard, watering the plants, and I was standing by the window just watching him. And I couldn't stop thinking about how far this whole thing had come a few months ago. You were just someone who showed up politely, someone who didn't want to take up space, someone who wasn't trying to be in the family, just trying to be present. And now, he's making real-life decisions with your name in mind, including you in documents that only used to have his and mine. That means something deeper than most people think. See, my dad doesn't really talk about legacy. He's not the kind to say, "I want to build something that lasts," but he moves like that, and actions, they always speak louder. When someone says, "Let me add you to something that protects what I value," they're not just protecting you, they're protecting what you represent. And to him, you represent something real, something rare, someone who's not here for attention, not here for just the good days, not here for what we have, but here for who we are. And the thing is, my dad knows loss. He's lost people before. People who said they'd stick around, people who promised to care and walked away when it got inconvenient. That's why he moves slowly now, why he watches longer before he trusts. So for you to be someone he's willing to cover, to protect, to tie into something as serious as insurance, that's huge. It means he's not thinking of you as someone passing through. He's thinking of you as someone worth building around. Someone who, if anything ever happens, deserves to be taken care of like one of our own. And here's the truth. No one tells you families don't just grow through blood. They grow through loyalty, through respect, through presence. And you've given all of that without asking for anything back. No demands, no pressure, just quiet love and patience. You listened when nobody else did. You helped without being asked. You gave space when needed. And stayed near when it mattered. And now, the result of all that. He's choosing you in private, in paperwork, in real life. That's the kind of bond money can't buy. That's the kind of trust that forms silently and holds forever. So even if you never asked for it, even if you thought you were just blending in quietly, this family sees you, and we don't just see you. We're counting on you being part of what comes next.